Hi guys, so today I thought I'd make a video about dealing with the death of a loved one or the suicide of a loved one and kind of what you can expect as far as grief is concerned if you've experienced the death of somebody close to you. So firstly, grief. This is a long process, and believe it or not, there are actually some kind of stages which you will go through when you're grieving, and everybody experiences these at different times and for different amounts of time, but it doesn't mean that if you grieve quite quickly that you didn't love them as much as somebody who might grieve for a longer period of time. It's just kind of just different for everybody. So the first stage of grief is shock and denial. You may feel disbelief or deny the reality at some level of what your situation and what happened to try and avoid the pain. And this shock provides emotional protection from being overwhelmed, and it can last weeks. So don't feel weird or different if this lasts a long time for you. The second stage of grief is pain and guilt. You'll most likely feel unbearable pain as the shock wears off, and it's really important that you embrace this pain and you don't hide it or escape it with alcohol or drugs or anything. If you don't kind of embrace the pain, then it can cause problems later on. I know that one of my friends didn't kind of cope with the grieving process properly, and she developed depression from it to quite a serious level. So it is important that you do kind of embrace the pain and you have a good cry and talk to people and, you know, kind of go through it at your own pace. You may feel guilty at this stage or overthink things that you did or you said or that you didn't say or do. So don't feel like you're not normal if you feel any of these feelings. And then you'll most likely feel anger and bargaining. You might blame their death on somebody else or yourself. But you shouldn't do this because it can cause permanent damage on relationships that you might have with other people or on yourself. It's really good to release this bottled up emotion. Make sure that it's all released by this time at least. And if you are trying to bargain, you know, if you do certain things, they'll come back, or if you did certain things and they wouldn't have died, please know that it's not your fault and these things won't work. And, you know, it's superstitions, but they are gone, and I know it's a horrible thing to happen, but it's not your fault and there's nothing you could have done, so please don't blame yourself. The fourth stage of grief is depression or loneliness, which is a long period of kind of sad reflection on the person. You might realise the true magnitude of your loss, and this may depress you. You might isolate yourself or reflect on memories that you've had of the person, feel empty or despair, but this can last different amounts of time. It is part of the grieving process, but if this depression does last for a long time, then it probably is clinical depression and you should talk to somebody. There's obviously a certain amount of time you can expect to be depressed when you do grieve somebody you were close to, but this shouldn't go on for too long. It can last for months, but if it lasts longer than, say, a year, then I definitely talk to somebody about it. And if you're having problems, then I talk to someone anyway. Then after you've kind of worked through this depression period or your grieving, you can expect an upward turn and you might adjust to life without them. Your life will get more organised and calm, and your physical symptoms lessen and your depression will lift a little bit. And then reconstruction and working through all these problems and creating realistic solutions to life without them. Your mind might work again and you start to work on maybe financial or practical problems that you were kind of avoiding before. And then finally you'll feel acceptance and hope. You can accept and deal with the reality of the death and find a way forward and look forward and plan things for the future, even if it is without them. Eventually you'll think of them without pain and enjoying living, and just reflect on the good memories you had with them. So these are all the stages of grief, and basically anybody who's lost somebody will experience these stages, and they're totally normal, and you're not alone because so many people experience this. And it's really important that you do go through the grieving process, otherwise you can leave bottled up emotions and you might get ill later on. But you don't need to go through this alone. Talk to somebody close to you and they'll obviously understand, and hopefully you can work through it. And if this death was because of a suicide, please know that it's not your fault. The majority of cases when people do commit suicide is because of depression or some form of depression, and the side effects of that which causes somebody to have those feelings. Most of the time they're not actually there, it's kind of built up in the person's head, and there's not really anything you can do for somebody like that. I mean, obviously to some extent there is, maybe curing their depression, but if they are truly fixated on committing suicide, if you show you care and you do try to help but it doesn't work, it's not your fault, and there's nothing more you could do, because sometimes when you're in that state, they're just words, they don't really mean anything to you. So please don't blame yourself, because it's really not your fault, and it is the depression or whatever caused it, if they've had a bad life or anything. So please don't blame yourself. If you yourself are thinking about committing suicide and you looked on this video maybe wondering how your family would react, I have videos I think on suicide or kind of living with suicide, so if you want to look at those you can look through the rest of the videos on this channel and you'll find them. So yeah, I hope you're all doing okay, and if you have clicked on this because you don't just want to watch it, you actually you have lost a loved one, or they may have terminal cancer or something, and you're wondering kind of how you're going to react, please do stay strong for it, because you will get through it, and it's okay to break down once in a while, and it's fine to show that you're upset, because you're obviously going to be upset. And yeah, don't feel alone, and I love you all so much. I'm probably not gonna post a video in a little while because I have quite a busy schedule. It's my birthday tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be 15, and then on Saturday I'm going to London with my mum to see a show and shop and stuff, and then like the rest of the week I've got like school and stuff, so I might upload a video but I might not, so if I don't hate me, and I hope you're all okay, and I love you all so much, and I really hope that this helped in some way. I know I'm not like a counsellor, but if you are going through this, it's important that you have somebody there to talk to, and just know that you're really not alone. And yeah, I don't know if I said this, but I'm sorry that I'm wearing pyjamas. I'm just really tired, and I'm probably going to go to sleep soon because I really can't be fucked to get changed when I go home from school anymore. I just put on my pyjamas and lay in bed, so yeah, bye.